Hi, I'm back. I'm still sick, but I'm back. I'm okay enough to be doing this, I think. Quick health update. My body decided that after 10 days of having the flu, she was bored. So she decided to develop pneumonia instead. So I missed the Wednesday upload because I was on serious bed rest, but I'm here. I still have pneumonia, but I'm on pretty heavy antibiotics and steroids now. So I feel well enough to sit up straight and speak somewhat coherent and complex sentences at you. Throughout the flu and the pneumonia, I have no idea what I was doing. I did not read a single page of a book during those 2 weeks. I did not watch a single movie during those 2 weeks. I have no clue what I was doing. I was so brain dead that I'm pretty sure I was just in and out of sleep and staring at the ceiling. So this wrap up is going to be pretty short because it's basically only for the 2 weeks of March that I wasn't half.
Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear my voice? Anybody out there? Anybody hears me, please respond.
Welcome to the either last or second to last video of the most boring random backgrounds you can get. I'm still at my dad's. I was too sick to drive the 18 hours back to my house, so I'm still here for at least another few days, but I'll be back in my library with all of my books and my bookshelves soon. And I know that some people have been asking for a bookshelf tour, and I think that goes with the territory of the every physical book on my TBR video, so it's coming soon. So for all of March, I only read 3 books, coming out to 680 pages, which is crazy low for me. But I get a pass. Like, I have pneumonia. I get a pass. It's fine. First up, I read A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck, a horror novella about a man named Soren Johansson who lives his life as a good Mormon man, only to die and wake up in an afterlife that he didn't expect to be in. Basically, everyone gets their own personalized version of hell, and his happens to be being stuck in this library of endless books that he can't actually read. And he's stuck in this limbo hell until he can find the book that tells his life story, word for word. But most of the books are like nonsense, not complete sentences, not real words, just total nonsense. It's 110 pages of pretty light horror, but pretty heavy existentialism and hopelessness. I read it in like 2 hours on the first day of the month, and I already kind of want to reread it. I got a solid 5 stars. It was a great book. I might switch it down to 4.75, but for now he's strong at 5 stars. The other 2 books that I read in March are for a reading vlog that should be coming out in like a week and a half. So I'm not gonna go fully into details on these, but I'll do a little overview. I read The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. My dust jacket isn't with me here at my dad's, but the US cover looks like this, but my cover looks like this because I ordered it from Waterstones in the UK, which was more expensive, but I like it more and I was feeling naughty. So The Book of Doors is about this girl named Cassie. She works at a bookstore, and one day one of her customers dies, and she finds a weird book in his possession that seems to be addressed to her. That winds up being this magic thing called the Book of Doors, where if you're holding it, any door leads to every door. Basically, she can teleport through any door to any other door in the world. And I went into this fully expecting it to be a 5-star. It has portal fantasy, it has travel, it has the components there. Unfortunately, I was wrong. It fell a little bit short. It wasn't bad. It fell a little bit short. There wasn't as much delicious romantic portal hopping as I wanted there to be, and most of the book revolves around bad guys who are trying to find her and steal the book from her, when really what I wanted was some like vibey romantic fantasy about portal hopping from New York to Italy to Argentina. The writing was also a little bit stiff, and the main character made some dumb ass choices that made me want to jump into the book and slap her, or open a portal and throw the book through. Anyway, I'll talk more in depth about it in the reading vlog, and I have so many thoughts on this and Cassie's dumbass choices that I think I might include like a spoiler section at the end of the reading vlog for anyone who is into that and wants to spoil themselves for the books, or who, if you've read it and you want to talk about her stupid choices. So this got a 3.75 for me. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. The end. The other book that I read for this reading vlog was The Butcher of the Forest by Premi Mohammed, which I really enjoyed. It's another novella. It's 160 pages. It's the perfect length for a dark, cautionary fairy tale. This woman named Varys is the only person to ever have entered these dark, spooky, f***ed up woods near her village and survived. She's the only person to ever have gone in and also come back out alive. And so she's tasked by this evil tyrant who took over their land to go back into the forest and find his stinky little kids who wandered in there. If you watched my January and February wrap up, you'll know a little more what I'm talking about here, but this is what I wanted Thornhedge to be. It's darker than I expected. It fully felt like a fairy tale for grown-ups. There was no childlike language, no kid stuff. I mean, there were kids, but not kid stuff, not kid themes. And it wasn't afraid to get a bit gruesome, but it was never gratuitous. It never felt like it was throwing things in there just to shock people or f with their heads or anything. This, again, was technically portal fantasy, but it was less Alice in Wonderland falling through a crack in the world. It was more like an accidental misstep into a world 3 feet off center from your own. Does that make sense? Did that make sense? Yes. There are themes of loss, there are themes of success and failure and what each of them actually means. There's loss of innocence. The blurb on the front says, exactly the kind of punishment we as readers deserve, which is a vibe for sure. Again, I'm gonna have a lot more to say about this in the reading vlog, but I for sure recommend this book if you're looking for a creepy dark fairy tale for grown-ups that may or may not have an ending that doesn't wrap up neatly or happily. And I gave it 4.25 stars. And for the 2 weeks of March that I was actually able to look at a screen and pay attention to what was on it, I watched 6 movies, 2 sci-fi, 2 movie musicals, 1 rom-com, and 1 horror. First up was Malignant, a movie with the single most laughable opening scene I have ever seen. Ever seen. The movie is basically about this girl who's in an abusive relationship with this man, and then that jackass gets murked by some creepy dark entity, and then our girl starts having visions of murders happening in other places. But really seriously, when I saw just the opening scene, I thought it was a joke or like a movie within a movie. And when I realized it wasn't, I almost gave up and turned the movie off. It was that bad. It was that silly. I'm glad I didn't, because the end of the movie wound up wild as hell and fully brought the movie into mid-plus territory, mid-smiley face. So 3 stars, solidly mid-plus. Next up, my was seated in a theater watching Dune Part 2 in all its big-ass IMAX Shai-Hulud glory. And let me tell you something. Denis put his whole Shai-Halusi into this movie. Into this movie. This was beautiful. This was stunning. I want to see it again in IMAX, and then I want to see it a 3rd time with noise-canceling headphones on, so I can just look at the cinematography, at the shots, at the color, at Fade Rautha. And I don't know what this says about me, and I don't want to know, but I was never an Austin Butler girl. I didn't get the whole Austin Butler's so hot thing until I saw him in this movie as Fade Rautha. I'm sorry. I'm not telling my therapist that because I don't want to know what it means. I don't want to know what it means. I don't want to know. My only gripe with this beautiful, beautiful film is that it kind of breezed over one of my favorite parts of the book, and I was really excited to see how they would translate that to film. I won't say what it is. You know, go read the book and then ask me and I'll tell you. But I won't say what it is, but it did make me sad because I was looking forward to like the craziness of what that scene would entail, and instead of a whole thing, they cut it down to like 20 seconds of like basically nothing, which sad. But like whatever, it was a perfect movie aside from that. 5 big, huge Dune light popcorn buckets for this movie. Next, I watched The Greatest Showman, and I got to watch it with my mom, who is an even bigger musical theater nerd than I am. I also watched it like 30 seconds after I arrived at her house after an 18-hour drive. So I was already delirious, which might be the better way to watch it. And in my head, I was comparing it to my favorite movie musicals, which shall not be named until a later video. Wink wink. And it wasn't stacking up against them. I have a very particular list of like my heart musicals, and this just doesn't compare to them. But that one fucking song came on. The one probably over here in the review. And I was off the couch doing the whole dance. I was exhausted from an 18-hour drive. It didn't matter. I was and we will come, whatever. Oh, back home. But P.T. Barnum was a bad person in real life. He was a bad man. So 2.5 stars. Sorry. And then if you want to talk about leveling up with movie musicals, I watched Mamma Mia for the first time ever. Don't come for me. Don't hurt me. I'm sorry. I know. This is my sister's favorite movie, I think, of all time. And I got to watch it with her after years and years and years of her being deeply disappointed in me. And after watching it, I'm disappointed in myself. This was pure f***ing fun. I have no notes. It made me want to be 20 years old again and go have a hoe era in Greece. I love Amanda Seyfried because she looks like a beautiful little alien sheep. And I love Meryl Streep being a goofy little gal. She just gets to run around and be a goofy little gal in overalls. I love that for her. I love My Three Dads. And I loved seeing Milfy Lou Who again. Christine Baranski, national treasure. This movie was 5 stars. I have to watch Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again soon. And I'm probably gonna watch this one again, I don't know, this week. Next, I rewatched Always Be My Maybe, which is a solid mid-plus movie for me. I think I give it 3.5 stars? Yeah, 3.5 stars? Ali Wong and Randall Park are pretty great as childhood friends turned lovers turned strangers turned reacquaintances turned lovers. Again. Keanu Reeves is great, playing the most unhinged version of Keanu Reeves himself. There are some pacing issues with the movie, and there are some communication issues that just make me want to slap a bit. But overall, it's a fun mid-movie to throw on. Watch it with your dad. That's what I did. And then I got really sick and stared at the ceiling for 10 days. And then on the final day of March at 11 p.m., I remembered that I was supposed to watch Elysium before March was over so that I could see it on Netflix and not have to pay extra money later on. So, half drunk on antibiotics and cold medicine, I put it on my iPad and I held it up in front of the spot on the ceiling I'd been staring at. And folks, we have our mid-movie of the month. This is a classic mid-tier Matt Damon sci-fi movie about an ultra-classist dystopian future where the really rich and bougie people get to live on a colony in outer space, and basically all of Earth has been turned into a slum, or at least Los Angeles. We don't really see any other part of Earth, but Los Angeles is basically one big slum. Matt Damon is a reformed bad boy who turns bad boy once more after getting lethally sick in order to illegally make it up to the 1%ers colony so he can get access to this magical med bay that heals any illness in like 3.5 seconds. Jodie Foster is also in this, in the absolute worst role I've ever seen her in. Every bad guy in this movie is competing for the Do Your Job the award, and they all win. There's also something that happens to a man's face that I sincerely wish I had never, ever, ever, ever seen in my life. Minor emetophobia warning here. If you have emetophobia, there's about 10 seconds of this movie that you won't vibe with, but you'll probably be able to see it coming. This is a solid 3 stars. Wonderful first iteration for our mid-movie of the month. I'm gonna talk really quickly about shows. Oh, by the way. The shirt of the day. Good times, great taste. I'm going to talk really quickly about shows because I watched 2 of them last month. Again, it was basically no media march. So the first show I watched was South Park joining the Panderverse. And don't even ask, I have literally nothing to say about this. I will watch absolutely anything Matt and Trey put out in the South Park universe, but like at this point, we're what, 25 years in? At this point, like what is there to say? It's just more South Park. It's definitely no bigger, longer, and uncut, that's for sure. Which means that the only real show that I watched in March was The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. I am happy to get any kind of content from this universe, and to have it be my man Daryl, looking all sexy and dirty, running around in France? Yes, please. I don't even care what happened in the show. I hardly remember. I don't care. Fleur Delacour was there. We got acid zombies. We got little French Jesus. Whatever. Whatever. We have this dirty, sexy man walking the Mad Max-ass cobblestone streets of Paris and visiting Mont Saint-Michel. I was seated and I was happy. And if he doesn't reunite with Rick and Michonne in season 2, I'm going to scream and cry like a baby. Like a little baby. And that is it, everyone. Those are my measly little stats for March. I'm off now to take more medicine and probably stare at the ceiling for a little while longer. You didn't see it because I'm cutting it all out, but I'll say a sentence and then cough my lungs out. Say a sentence, cough my lungs out. But you're worth it. Because I love you. I'll see you again on Wednesday for a little first quarter vibe check / spring TBR / TBW. Thank you so much for being here. There are already things happening on this channel that I couldn't imagine. There are more of you than I thought would be possible already, which is crazy. And I've made so many new friends. If you didn't know, I respond to every single comment. I am making friends up and down, and I love it. I feel like I have so many new friends, and I'm so happy about it. So, if you can hear me, if you can read the subtitles, I love you, and I hope I see you very, very soon. Named Soren Johansson. So I'm not gonna go I read should I hold it like this if there's no dust check? I'm gonna hold it like this so you might be able to see. There you go. And I went to me 5 Dune light pop cup. Fire. Absolutely. Did I just say fire? Did I just say fire? I am a 30-year-old. I just said fire? You want to be hip for Gen Z? Stop. And we're gonna run out and we're gonna have to switch to a new tape. 3, 2. And folks, we have our mid-movie of the month.